Desperate steps repeated without end. What are Harry and the wife's plans for clinging to the military?
Hello, friends. Welcome to the King YouTube channel.
So, it's 2023. Harry and Meghan paid a visit to San Diego's Camp Pendleton ahead of Veterans Day. Last year in 2022, Harry went to Pearl Harbor and Honolulu. In a personal capacity, though, he was touring the USS Arizona Memorial for Veterans Day. And then back in 2021 on Veterans Day, the two of them paid a surprise visit to a New Jersey military base. The little stop in New Jersey came a day after attending the 2021 Salute to Freedom Gala at the Intrepid Museum in New York City. Do you remember that was the time that Meghan wore that horrible red dress? In 2020, they couldn't participate in the annual Remembrance Day ceremony in London with the royal family, so Harry and Meghan decided to go to a national cemetery in LA on Sunday to pay their respects to people who had died in the war. I find it pretty interesting that Harry would want to be there with Meghan toward the opening of the facility, and I do have one question. Maybe I'm confused as to why exactly they were there. Were they paid to be there? Was it because Harry might be considering returning to the military? I do wonder. Maybe Harry's trying to go back to the military as his way back into the royal family, but I'm not really sure what Harry's military experience actually is. I've heard he was just playing Xbox most of the time, and he was being protected there by other people. So perhaps he's thinking of joining the US military to bring his experience to the table. And maybe he's going to get a job? Could he be in some kind of high-ranking military advisor position, doing what his handler tells him to do? Well, they sure could clean up the riffraff, and they could work so hard together to get the Navy SEALs swimming to the right tune. Let's remember, Meghan is really good at singing to seals. Honestly, guys, this is just another instance of Harry feeling very desperate. Why did they even bother showing up? What, did they think that was a grand opening and they just had to be there? Maybe I just don't understand it. Why would Harry even be interested in the US military? Looks to me like he's just desperate for something to do. He's bored. What does he really know about anything, though? What was he trained for? Seems strange to me that a British prince would have been there. I mean, not that he's not welcome, and maybe he has something to offer, but still, the whole thing was bizarre. It's very confusing, actually, because why would Meghan be interested in being there? She doesn't care about servicemen and servicewomen. So many questions, and as usual with the gruesome twosome, we have no answers. But nothing they do or say makes any sense, so we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it does in the sense of trying to damage his father. Just imagine how disappointed the king would feel if Harry joined the US military. And I think Harry now is missing all the military titles that he lost after he left. Now, sure, people appreciate his service for England, part of the free world. But I suspect it's an opportunity for him to get some of his own fame here, even though Meghan went with him to most of these appearances. When Her late Majesty the Queen took away his honors and military distinctions, that clearly left a hole in his heart. I'm sure he's jealous of people who gained what he lost. The truth is, nobody needs him in the US to show how amazing our military is. We can do that all by ourselves. And we love to honor our veterans just like any other country does. For the past 3 years, we have seen photos of Meghan and Harry celebrating Veterans Day. I say take away the cameras and see if they show up. I don't think they will. And why on earth were Harry and Meghan chosen to be at the grand opening up there on stage? Meghan, as always, in the foreground and Harry in the background. It bothers me this year watching them being given such a privilege to honor our military. Maybe their new PR team is involved in this. I'm sure they are. Were there no other people who could have been there? Why Harry? Are we not hearing rumors about his extracurricular activities in Afghanistan? Some really nasty stuff went on, apparently. Now, maybe the rumors aren't true, but still, did anyone bother to check if Harry is even the honorable military man that he portrays himself as? I mean, he was standing in the background the entire time. I'm not sure, as a non-American citizen, if he can even join the American Armed Forces. Perhaps the SEALs are looking for an Xbox trainer for their people, or maybe it's Meghan who wants to join the SEALs. The two of them are just trying to make money off Veterans Day and get attention for themselves. Do they even understand what they're doing? I mean, no offense to the British people. I just don't want Harry here in all his glory on a special day for our country, our military, our veterans. Harry walked away, and when he walked away, he left all his honors behind. We've got our own heroes in the US who should have been up there on stage for an event like that. And as for Meghan, yeah, she's American, but she doesn't care about anything except money and fame. She doesn't understand what it even means to honor someone or something that isn't herself. And I think Meghan is also being paid to attend these functions in the US. It's not like when she was a working royal. At the end of the day, this is what she feels like she's entitled to, and so she puts on this phony show to make some money. There is no reason as to why she was there, and why Harry was there either, really. Obviously, there's somebody behind this, pulling the strings, making them work for their money. In the UK, let's remember, she thought that she was too good to do these boring jobs like ribbon cuttings and visiting hospitals. Well, it seems like now she has finally found her calling. WME figures that publicity photos are going to upgrade Harry's image and help Meghan. The fundraiser for the center, who enthusiastically introduced them, probably invited them. Seems pretty obvious that this guy wanted a big splash for the opening, and they figured they'd get some publicity by having Harry and Meghan there. Now, the new center is supposed to help the veterans transition back from duty by giving them services, including services for PTSD. So on paper, Harry would seem appropriate because of his military and mental health background. But if you just scratch the surface a little bit, you can see, no, not appropriate at all. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, the fundraiser probably didn't have any idea that Harry has ruined his reputation in both of these areas. And it sounds a lot like stuff Harry used to do as a working royal. I think they're just desperate now. They're looking for some place in the world for themselves. And all Harry really understands is military. And then Meghan could go to Hollywood and keep on trying to turn herself into a star. I'm not sure if Harry could get some kind of military advisor position. With these two, we never know. And I think Harry's being eaten up with these dreams of revenge against his father and his brother. He will do anything at this point to hurt his own family. And he keeps on trying, but the only person he succeeds in hurting is himself. People see right through the little games the two of them are playing. The only thing Harry is really trained for, though, would be royal-type engagements, and Meghan cannot get any roles or deals. So what else could they do other than go to boring concerts, which Meghan pretends to enjoy, and Harry, while he's there, looks stoned out of his mind and also bored out of his skull? I'm sure at this point he is feeling some regret about how he could have been doing royal stuff for real. He could have been adored by the public, and he wouldn't have had to worry about money. Is Meghan really worth it? Harry's father is the head of the armed forces in the UK, and when he was young, he served in the Royal Navy too. He did training in other areas, so Harry's wanting to be involved with the military in another country that is a republic. It doesn't make sense. Harry is such a fool, but I think Meghan considers all military as the same game of soldiers wherever they are, and she just hopes it's going to make up for the loss of Harry's military titles if she takes him to these military events. I get the idea that he got pretty difficult to deal with when he lost all the dress uniforms, because Meghan talked about how unnecessary that was. I think Harry whined to her and she didn't want to hear it. My news today has ended. What do you think about this couple? Please continue to discuss them with us below in the comments. Don't be afraid to like and share this video with your friends and relatives who would enjoy it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.